Yo, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all feeling? Wow, I made it on time. I feel really good about that. Nice. Welcome to Dad Talk. Should be an interesting one. Nice. What's going on with you guys? Where you guys from? Okay. Okay. Oh, there he is. Let's go. How you doing, brother?
Dude, such a big fan. Such a big fan. You have no idea. You have no
Thank you,
idea.
man. Look, I truly appreciate it. You never know who is watching your stuff, you know?
Man, I'll tell you right now. Black owned is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I heard you on 85 South Show and doing that. You did my favorite songs, All Gold Everything. I'm telling you right now, there's a video of me at a Gelson's parking lot. My kids are in the car with their friends. We're heading to the beach. I'm dressed like this. I'm in my Navigator and I'm playing All Gold Everything, and I'm just like in my head listening to it, arm out the window, kind of like singing along, and his black kid sees me and he starts videotaping me, and I looked over and he like nodded like because you're a name that when I bring it up, like people in the culture go, wait, how do you know Trinidad James? And I go,
Hey, so you better let them know that you pay attention, Bert.
he was videotaping me. I said, what's up? And he goes, that's what's up.
Amen. Amen. So look, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I truly appreciate your time.
No, of course. Thank
Man,
you.
here on Dad Talk, man, I like to just talk to different creatives. There's been a lot of things going on in the world just in general.
Yeah.
And I just like to talk to different people about, just 3 questions from me, 3 questions from you. Whatever you want to ask me is totally fine.
Yeah.
And then if we got enough time left over, we'll take some questions from the fans. That's about it.
Okay. Awesome.
I'll start it off.
Great.
First question is a question I always ask everybody at the top. Do you love what you do? It's a two-part question. And the second part of it is, do you feel that you deserve the success that you have to date right now?
That's a really great question. I absolutely love what I do more than anything in the world. It defines who I am. It makes me happy when I don't have it, like when not being able to do stand up during the quarantine made me very sad. I felt rudderless, and I didn't know who I was. It was really bizarre. Do I feel I deserve the success? I do not. Now,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. There's a term called survivor's remorse, meaning someone who, say, went to war and then comes home and lives and gets to see life.
Hold on a sec. Yo, I can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think you had got a
Okay.
call or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
I get
So you say
survivor's remorse.
survivor's remorse. Yep.
Yeah. I get survivor's remorse because I didn't pop until I was like 44, 45, at 44, 43, maybe a little younger. And so there was a period where I was just kind of a failure in my head. I feel like I wasn't famous. I'd come to the store. I wasn't the comedy store. I wasn't top on the list to get on. I was friends with everyone. Everyone liked me, but I knew what it was like to kind of just sit there and go, so maybe I won't be successful. Maybe this is it. Maybe I'll just be a comic. Maybe I won't do theaters. Maybe I won't have a tour bus. Maybe I won't have all that. And then when it did happen, those guys that I was in it with that are still a little older that didn't pop, I look at them going, that could have been me very, very easily. So I don't take anything for granted. And I sincerely sometimes feel like I should really, really acknowledge that it's a lot of it's luck. A lot of it's just being at the right place, being at the right time, having a certain outlook on life and not being a dick. Don't be a dick. That's number one. Don't be a dick.
I
Yeah.
respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Question on you, man.
Okay, you talked on the 85 South show. You talked about your writer's block.
Yeah.
Was my question is, I've had writer's block throughout this quarantine. I haven't really written a ton of jokes, but I think it's because I haven't been living. Were you someone that saw writer's block as a possibility before you had writer's block, or was that the first experience when writer's block showed up? Were you like, oh shit, it's happening to me, or were you someone that was like, oh, that could happen? Does that make sense?
No, no, I understand exactly what you mean. When it happened, was the first time I ever experienced it in my entire life of living. I was like, what is this? It felt like
Yeah.
a new disease. It feels like when you get pneumonia for the first time or something, like where your chest just feels like, this is not a cold anymore. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like because, writer's block also is like, it's a family member of depression.
Yeah.
So it was the first time those two ever hit me at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Well, it was the first time that, honestly, either had ever hit me. But that I was like aware of, or like, whoa, what is going on here? Like, why do I feel like this? And it lasted for I said about 7 to 8 months, man, straight. And in the middle of that, it was the hardest because when you create for a living, as you understand what that means, like basically you take things out of your head and turn it to real life. It's almost impossible. You feel like if you can't create, I should die. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like create or die, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
So I went way, way down, way, way down, way, way down. Tried everything to get myself back out of the drowning feeling per se, and it kind of it took for me to get out of my own way in order for like the energy to start flowing back right. I moved from where I was living at the time to a whole other state. I moved from Atlanta to LA. I changed I stopped making excuses for the things that I was procrastinating on that I knew that I wanted to do. I just really got out of my own way, man. I wanted to be more of a man of my word compared to like living up to like, other people's standards. Like if I tell you something, of course I wouldn't lie to you, but I lie to myself during these times. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're supposed to do this and you're going to do this and you're going to do this and you're lying. Like I'm lying to myself.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth every day, but I'm lying to myself every day or whatever. So it put me in a really crazy place, man. And once I stopped doing the lying to myself, then it allowed me to just see life from a way better perspective. Obviously, it wasn't perfect, but just a better perspective and get out my own fucking way.
Wow. Yeah. I lie to myself nonstop.
Oh man, trust me, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. I understand, man. So, moving forward, I wanted to ask you from the standpoint of when it comes to, comedy, like to me, comedy is the last art form where you can be your true self, say the most wildest of shit, and somehow, according to how good of a comic you are, you can get away with it. Because it's such a raw art form that it hasn't been mainstream to death yet. It's getting there, but you can get a few crazy jokes off. My question is this: where, for you, like, where does that, as a comedian, where does that come from? Where do you find that dark, evil side, man? Like, sometimes I need to tap into that for writing music, and I just can't find it.
Yeah. I'm gonna take my headsets out. Give me a sec. I'm so not a headset guy. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I think I'm a broken person. I think that's what it is. Like the things I think are very honest and very real, and I have a weird tickle inside me that wants to say them out loud. Like I get really triggered by bullies and by hypocrisy. So like the things when I see people doing shit, like I want to call them on it and go, hey, you can't do that. Like, and then when I learn something, I kind of want to share it with everyone. But I think ultimately it comes down to the fact that I'm a little bit of a broken person in that if I think something's funny, I want to share it with everybody immediately. Like, and I get fascinated by the weirdest stuff. Like right now, I'm going through a big Wild and Out phase, which is a weird show for a 47-year-old white man to get obsessed about. But I can't stop watching fucking Wild and Out because all of a sudden I found out Michael Blackson's fucking hilarious, and I am like all over the place. But I think I also have good intentions. Like I have a good heart. I don't ever want some people always go, where do you draw the line in comedy? I don't ever want someone to feel less than human in my room. Like I always want everyone to laugh. I want everyone to have a good time. So I think if I was a guy that worked a 9-to-5 job, I would get fired so quickly because the things I think that are funny, people just go like, what? Yeah, it's hard to explain, but I think that's where it comes out of that. Like right now, I'm trying to write a joke about Confederate statues, and everyone's like, leave it alone, and I go, no, I don't want to. Like, because the fact that you say leave it alone goes, let me prove to you I can
do it. Oh, I gotta do it.
Yeah,
Confederate everything. I got you.
And we just started a tour, so and it's all socially distant. We're doing drive-in movie theaters,
nice.
But we're doing the South, and I'm like, I'm definitely gonna do a joke about Robert E. Lee.
Practice it.
And so I've been bouncing it off them and they're like, hey man, I just leave it alone.
Look, man, I think that's what defines the best comedians. People that know how to walk that tightrope. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it's always a joke that somebody's not gonna smile at. That's life. That's science.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Lucky in that in my relationship on social media with my fans and through podcasting is that when I do write a joke that's a little off bounds, someone will kind of light me up and be like, privately will be like, yo, hey, just so you know, man, that's really fucked up. And you're like, okay, cool. That's how we're going to the next one.
Got it. No, yeah. I respect that. I respect that highly. Question on you, man. Last question. Next question. I'm sorry.
This is a question I've wanted to ask every rapper, okay? How do you feel about writing a song like Black Owned, where the M-word's in it throughout, and then knowing that it's coming to me and going into my car and that I'm going to sing along with that song? Does that bother you? Or
no, it's kind of put like this. It's a lot of things in America, right?
Yeah.
That's been here before you and me. And it's a lot of things we need to change, right?
Yeah.
And I think that in the midst of it, right now as we speak, it's impossible for me to put out something like that you genuinely like and has liked before I even started doing music. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The N-word, it was in music. It was in different songs going way back, And I don't know. I don't think that, me personally, I don't think that it's for me to feel a type of way about how you use what you paid for me, what you bought from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could only hope that, for me, I always want people to do things with respect, because if you do most things with respect, you'll do it the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that is kind of like, things exist, man. Things exist, and the reason why I appreciate comedians is that, you used to be able to could say, well, this, that, you know what I'm saying? But I think that it's all about how you're using it. When it comes to music, that's a weird one, you know what I'm saying? It's not even weird. My standpoint on it is that if you buy it from me, then you do what you got to do, but always know how to read the room. That is what I would tell you.
You've been a big conversation in my household because my daughters know All Gold Everything. They don't like me playing it in the car, and I go, why? It's a great song. And they go, Dad, it's the M-word. They don't even like hearing the M-word. And I go, but no, the guy that wrote these are his lyrics. You don't sing. No one's singing it out loud in the car. We're not singing it. But it's a great song. It's just listen to the song. And then when you came out with Black Owned, I immediately I bought it. I was driving down Riverside and I was like, oh, I'm getting this right now. I buy it. My kids are in the car. I play it and I go, you know that guy Trinidad James? This is his new song. And they're like, and then they're like, Dad, you shouldn't be listening to this. And I go, no, you're totally wrong. Like because there's a big message throughout it. There's such a great fucking song, dude. It's such a great song. It's
Thank
such
you,
a great
man.
song. And so that's been the conversation going on in my house is directly through you, Big Boy from Outcast. I listen to a lot of. I'm real into Southern hip hop. I grew up in Florida.
It's a great time. It's a great time.
Yeah. So
Nah,
it's
I mean, and I mean, I think that you see the young ones, they're better than us. They're just better than us. You know what I'm saying? Like we have been, we have been used to the system that we grew up in. Fortunately, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? That comes with a lot of different connotations. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said and understood, it's a lot of things that we agree with have made normal in our life that's completely wrong. You know what I'm saying? But in our mindset, it's not wrong. And our children are the ones that are going to do better than us, and that's what we always wanted them to do.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's what we always wanted them to do. So I think that like your kids being the ones that are on their daddy duty type situation about that subject, I think that that makes all the sense because the kids, they're looking at it from the standpoint of like how we used to look at it. Like, why are you even saying that word? You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad word. Like, it's a bad word.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate them. They need to know that because you already know this. I think it's a part of why you became a comedian, you know, a successful one at that, is that the things that you say now, you've been saying them since you were young.
Yeah.
You know, you just polished it, figured out how to throw it in there, put slang on it, this, that. It's the same things, you know what I'm saying? A this is a this and a that is a that, or whatever. Is it right? No. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to be completely down to the ABCD, you know what I'm saying? But we have to account for how people grew up.
Yeah.
We have to account, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that also from the standpoint of, to lightly touch on the subject some, is that we make exceptions for different, it's like racism things at certain times. It's like, we won't make this black joke, but we'll make this Asian joke. And then we won't make this Asian joke, but we'll make this Mexican joke. Or we won't make, you know what I'm saying? Somebody's catching the low end of the stick when it's like, you see what I'm saying? Like, these used to be jokes, guys. You know what I'm saying? But now it's offensive because younger and younger generations, they don't appreciate that shit, man. They don't appreciate, they're not into that. You know what I'm saying? And I think I think like that is the best thing that I could tell you is that the younger and younger generations, they heard everything that we said and everything that our parents said. Because some kids were blessed enough to have their parents and grandparents still, you know? And they knew the things that pissed people off or whatever, and they just don't want to be that. They don't want to be the same mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, our way of life, it works for us. We're older and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to work for us because there's so many like-minded people like us. Yeah. But think about it. You don't think like how your kids think.
No, I mean, it's funny to watch my kids see the way my dad interacts in like certain times. Especially like he called a waitress one time sweetie, and my daughter's lit up. They're like, the fuck's Papa doing? And I was like, guys, it was a lost cause.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you know, it's like, it's different. It's completely different. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter about it's like innocent, da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? You got to just understand that what the young people are saying, it could be drastic, but it's only drastic because we're so conditioned to how things has been our whole life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody's always been catching the short end of the stick when it comes to racist devices, you know, and systematic shit. It's the truth, you know? So thank God. Bless your kids, man. They're great.
Man, I'm really excited I'm going to send this, as soon as we do this, I'm going to send it to my daughters, and they're going to go, oh, shut up, Dad, talk to the guy whose music you listen to.
No, man. So last question on me, man. Like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, of course.
But for my last question, I want to ask you, what, in your personal opinion, what is the future of entertainment when it comes to what can take the comedic experience? 'Cause I love comedy. Like I just love it. It's so raw. You could, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're good, it's like wow, but it's like wow. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like what to you, in your personal opinion, if it's hard to say if Corona or if everything that's going on didn't happen, so it's already happened. But what is the future of it, you think? You know, like what seems like, because it's heading in a crazy place. Like Kevin Hart is Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
got big people out here now. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. So what do you think is like the future of comedy?
I think independence. I
Mm.
think right now where comedy's going, what I notice is we kind of took ourselves out of the radio scenario and started doing podcasting, and that has provided a living for a great deal of us, whether it's Patreon or ad sales or integrations or straight up deals with big brokers. And I think, you know, a lot of my friends, Mark Norman, Sam Morrell, they're putting out specials on YouTube. They're self-producing them and putting them on YouTube. And I think it's the idea that people just want to see your stuff, and then they'll support. They don't want to pay for much. They just want to see your stuff. And so, like on this tour we're doing, I have a whole film crew with me, and we're shooting everything, and we're going to edit ourselves, and we're going to post it on YouTube and on different platforms on Instagram. But I think the reason we're doing that is, and I had offers from networks to do it with us, but for me it was like I don't think enough people will see it if we go with a network. I want to do it myself. I think I have a better control of it. I know my voice. I know what I'm saying. I'm not misrepresented. And so, and what I find funny, I think what I find funny on stage translates with my audience. Well, what I find funny in entertainment translates with my audience. So, you know, I kind of feel like this independence of being your own entrepreneur as a comic and doing a podcast, doing your own specials, editing them, shooting your own content. I mean, I just came out with a flip-flop line. Like, but like I know I like it, so I thought it would sell, and it sold out in like 8 minutes. And so I think independence
Correct.
is the future of comedy, really honestly. Because you know, when I started, you had to get greenlit by a club to get passed at a club to do stand-up. Now guys are just doing their own pop-up shows. You know, you had to get greenlit by a casting director to get cast in a sitcom in order to start selling tickets at a theater, in order to get a special at Comedy Central, and it was just Comedy Central. Now there's so many outlets to do it that you can be a startup comic by yourself, and just the sky's the limit. It wasn't like that. I mean, when I started, it was so expensive to buy a camera, and it was you'd shoot it on a tape, and then to edit that tape was so complicated. You needed an Avid system. Nowadays, shoot on your phone, edit on your phone, post it to YouTube. All of a sudden, you got a million views, and you're going viral. You know, I mean, I think independence is the future of comedy. I think what the things people will be coming out with, the different voices that'll be allowed to be heard, is going to be like there was a great joke in Dave Chappelle's Mark Twain acceptance speech, and he
Okay.
said, I think Dave said it. And he said, you know, when I was a kid, only one black guy was allowed to be famous. Only one black comedian was allowed to be famous at a time. You couldn't have two. Unlike today, where they let three of us. And I think it's true, but I think it's
Different times.
what is amazing now is that all you got to do is have something to say, and the platforms are out there for you. So yeah,
Right.
independent.
Right. You can have it's on you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, to a certain extent, when it comes to media, the media world, you have a fair chance.
Yeah, yeah,
I respect that. You got to put the work in. Definitely.
yeah. All right, here's my last question to you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I have bits of advice from different comedians professionally that I hang my hat on. Like Dave Attell once told me, you can never be sure that the club owner is going to watch your act, but what you can be sure of is at the end of the day, he'll check how much money he made at the bar. So if you're drinking on stage, they're drinking, and that's how you get back into clubs. And I went, that's it. That's my thing. I'm gonna drink on stage, and that has gotten me success throughout the years. Like don't like those little tidbits from great comics I share with other comics when they're coming up, where you go, hey man, just nothing for nothing. you know? So I'm curious, I would love to hear just one tidbit of someone you looked up to in hip hop that kind of pulled you aside and gave you one thing you went, I hang my hat on that every day.
Um, okay, I'm gonna shoot because I went straight to it. 2012 or 13, All Go Everything is out. Boom. Woo, amazing. Ah! And we do the remix to All Go Everything with Jeezy, T.I., and 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
So 2 Chainz, he does his verse and he sends it over. And you know, I'm young and like I'm new and just all over the place, just all
How
over the place. You know what I'm saying?
how old were you?
20, I just turned 24.
Okay, yeah, that's young.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm walking in fresh and everything. I just started doing music. You know what I'm saying? Like period, like the top of the year prior. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like all right, so it's like everything is completely new for me. So my mind is all over the place. You
Yeah.
know, and then the main thing you think about, and you can relate to this, when you're getting that, well, you understand where I'm coming from. Like when you're getting that attention from the world and boom, you're doing your thing, the craft is still important, but you gotta focus in. Like it's you try to stay focused on that and other things you drop the ball on a lot of things. Just
Yeah.
trying to make sure that you got to get the craft right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's what my mind was at. You know, it's like, all right, boom, successful, bam, all right, cool. But I know I needed to put the work in on the craft. You know what I'm saying? The guy that you heard all go everything, I want to deliver Black owned so well 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 8 years ago, I wouldn't have done that. I knew that you had to put in a lot of work to keep on to get to that point of being able to still have lyrics that make somebody feel a type of way. You know what I'm saying? 8 years later, you know, it's like it's important. So my point of bringing that up is, boom, 2 Chainz sending in his verse. So when he sent in his verse, I was like, oh, bam, thank you, man. Text him back. And you know that crazy thing, like when you tell somebody as soon as you're on the phone or as soon as you get off, you're going to do exactly what you said. And then you get off the phone and it's just like mind fart, just whew, and you go on doing something else.
Yeah.
Man, he hit me up or whatever. Yo, what's up, man? Boom, 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 or whatever. And man, he was like, hey, don't ever make a big artist wait when they send you over somewhere. They want to know your opinion. You need to acknowledge it. You need to give them the respect and pay attention to their work or whatever. When you know it's somebody that you respect, and I did, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to 2 Chainz when he was Titty Boy. You know what I'm saying? Before I even touched the pen. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, period. You know, growing up in Atlanta. So, you know, he was like, if it's somebody you respect and you value, you give them that respect. It don't matter what's going on right then and there, and you check it out right quick or whatever, because it's 15 seconds out of our life. According to the verse, you know what I'm saying? No verse, most verses are 12 bars. It's not back in the day like 16, 24 bar verses. It's 12 bar verses. So with that being, that's couldn't be no more than 37 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like these
Yeah.
days, the verses be like this, songs are so short, you know? So he was like, basically give that respect to artists that you respect when they're doing you a service.
That's man, I'll tell you what, I had an MMA fighter one time text me and I didn't reply, and he texted me again and I didn't reply. And I was just like, you get your brain fart. You're like, oh yeah, I'll get back to him. And then he texted me one more time. He said, just so you know, I'm a grown man and I'm getting feelings about this. Pick up the phone and call me now. And I went, ooh, shit. And it's like, hey man, I don't fuck around. Like like, you want to talk to me, call me, like reply to me. Don't just dick around. That's great advice.
I'm telling you, and the crazy thing about it, I was so thrown back, like when he said it, because I was like, damn, dude, I'm just a rookie, man. Like you know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, you know what I'm saying? But it was just like, I had a tall order in front of me. I got a #1 song on the urban charts at the time, so it's kind of like it was like I took it kind of tough or whatever, because I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm young, vicious, whatever, boom, boom, boom. I'm the hot shit or whatever. And but it stuck with me because I always thought about it. Even though it was like a tough lesson, I didn't per se like the way that he had said it or whatever, but I understood why he said it like that because he cared. And that's just, what I'm saying, that's grown man talk. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like industry grown man talk, which I hadn't never done before because I didn't grow up in the industry.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so I kept that with me, man. That's my tidbit. Respect the people that you look up to when they do a service for you.
Nice, man. Nice. That's awesome.
So my guy, what you call it? It's a few questions down here. Take a couple questions and bam. We appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate it. Come to Atlanta. I'd love to have you come to my show, hang out.
Say no more. You already know, man. Say no more.
Yeah. Segura says you keep sending him shoes.
Say it again.
You know Tom Segura?
Oh yeah, but oh man, I sent them 5 pairs of the same shoe for his whole family that he didn't like on our show when he did it on a sneaker show that he was on.
He told me about that the other day. We were talking about you. You'll see it. We were talking about you on a podcast, right? And randomly, and sometimes you forget that certain people you can talk to certain people. I just never thought I'd ever talk to you. I'm just a fan of your music. And so I brought up your name on a podcast, and Segura goes, I'm friends with Trinidad. And I said, no, you're not. And he goes, no, I really am. I go, bullshit. And then he flips around and shows me, you and him text. And I go, you can see it. You should see this. It is sincere fandom. Me going, I go, how the fuck do you know him? And he was like, we did a sneaker show.
Amazing. So I take this one right here, man. I'll let you go. Comedy is a philosophy of observation, and rap is a philosophy of life. Would you agree? I'll let you answer the comedy question. I'll answer the rap question. I can't hear you.
I'm not talking.
I was like, oh shit, where's his mouth?
I would agree from my perspective. However, I think that rap has had such an influence on comedy, meaning across the board, hip hop, that culture to the just the way. I mean, if you think about it, I remember one time I was watching a documentary and they said it's not so much what you're saying, it's how you're saying it sometimes. And they use Method Man as an example. And I remember hearing Method Man for the first time and just being like what's he doing? Like I was like focused on that, and it's so true. So many comics, like a Sebastian Maniscalco, he's saying something great, but he's saying it in a fun, interesting way, like his intonation. Certain comics have that. And then you look at like a guy like Dave Chappelle, what he just put out. That is a philosophy. That is an observation, but it's also philosophy. I mean, like it is that. I mean, I think it's bending on, and I think what I do with storytelling is so stolen from hip hop. I mean, it's like all my huge influences were all through hip hop, and I think storytelling is the same. But they're right. I don't know. I'm on the fence with both. I can't answer that right.
To me, all art forms are like cousins because you go through the same process to get there. When it's just it's the same end goal, but it's just like slightly different process. But you got to write material, whether you write it in your head or you write it on paper.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You got to deliver it or whatever. It's to a mic, but you're doing it live. We deliver it to a booth, and then we deliver it live. You know what I'm saying? So it's to me, it's all very relative, man. One is just quicker than the other when it comes to as far as delivery. But to me, you got to be quick on stage with your comedy or whatever, compared to just like already what's the written material or what you got put together in your head. You got to be sharp with the room because, there's always some dickhead sitting to the left with a half vodka soda, you know what I'm saying, just screaming out the answers to your questions. Whatever. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. Shut up. Shut up.
Dude, this has been amazing, man. I can't tell you. This has been really a joy. I would love to have you on my podcast next time. When things loosen up and you can come out to LA, I would love to have you on my podcast.
Say no more, man. I'll shoot you a message. Hey, man, thank you for your time, man, and definitely welcome.
Whenever, ever, anytime. I'm telling you, a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, brother. Be good, man. Peace.
Congrats on everything. Peace. I'll talk to you later.
Likewise, man. Hey guys, thank you for watching Dad Talk. I hope you enjoyed that conversation that me and Bert had. Be safe out there and stay tuned for the next one. I want to keep making them special. Bless.
These are some of the